just because of you know, I've been able to do that more, which has been great. Okay, this one should be up now and running. My YouTube should be back. Let me make sure my sound is on my YouTube though. Let's hear it. Am I there? Yes, okay, I'm there. I'm there on both. You glad Golden won best song? See, I never saw K-pop Demon Hunters. Kyle, I see you message that. I that's a new one for me. K-pop Demon Hunters. Not that I didn't want to watch it. I just maybe I not didn't want to watch it. I just didn't have interest in watching it. That was one of the films of this whole kind of night that I hadn't watched. But I'm not surprised that K-pop Demon Hunters won. That definitely is one that I predicted. If we want, we can just start going down my picks for my predictions for today. For the Oscars, I did really well, I think. I forgot how to make this bigger so I could see everything in a normal way. Oh, there I am. Okay. I'm trying to keep the chat up too. Yeah, so K-pop Demon Hunters, Golden. I think good performance. I'm trying to figure out though, because someone let me know. Is there another song that K-pop Demon, like another verse? When they sang Golden, it was just like one verse, and then it was over so quick. I was like, why? How is it over so quick? Does anybody know if they have like more verses? I don't know if that makes sense, but I was kind of wondering about that. I really wanted I Lied to You to win. I knew they weren't going to win, but that's sort of one I would have liked to win from Sinners. But yeah, let's just jump right in on my predictions. I'm going to do a whole video on this later with like proper like settings and things like that. And again, for anyone who again is new on my YouTube live stream as well, I'm doing both YouTube and TikTok. I don't know how to get rid of this background. I've tried right before the Oscars started. I don't know how to get rid of the background, so I'm sorry that I had this blue background. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but you could see me at least. But yeah, I wanted to say before I start on my predictions, I had asked everybody, did you pick OBA to win Best Picture? And if you did, tell me like if you didn't pick OBA, what did you pick instead? I typed it, did you pick OBA to win Best Picture? I want to know if you guys picked that, because if so, if not, what did you pick? Let me know. I'm going to end this, I think. Let me go live here instead. Sorry, guys, we're really stumbling through this. I thought I'd be a little better at this. I thought it'd be a little bit more easy, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's not that easy to do. But I think I'm going to try to do it on my phone because I feel like the computer thing isn't working well for me. Choose method. I got to verify my age on TikTok to go live, which is interesting. Don't hate it. I think that's definitely good to do. Well, there we go. Move closer. Make sure I'm not a kid, which is very good. So my YouTube's still going up here. Sorry that this is taking a little bit of time. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I already confirmed my age. I gotta do it again. Ugh. Okay, there I am. Okay. Okay, hi TikTok. I'm back. Hopefully, I think this is going to be better for me to do it on my phone here rather than on the computer, because the computer was kind of messing up a little bit. I feel like in terms of me being able to like know what was going on, it was confusing me just a smidge. So hopefully this angle is not too bad and you guys could still see me okay, and then we could just talk everything Oscars as we already were planning on doing. Sorry I didn't give anyone a heads up. I kind of just cut it and then came back. I'm going to try to set it up a little bit different so I can kind of get it in the center of my computer without it falling, hopefully. I don't know. Let's see if I mess this up. Maybe I should try to do it on my iPad. I want to do it a little bit higher, though, if possible. Don't fall. Hold up, folks. Sorry you're going all wobbly crazy. I'm trying to hold it up a little bit higher. Hopefully it doesn't fall from there. It's kind of okay. This angle's okay. Okay, we're here. Back again. I restarted the video. I had it on my computer before, but I said, let me get it on my phone because I think my phone would be a little bit more straightforward in terms of the way it was looking. It was looking a little bit weirder for me on my when I was doing on my desktop here. Gosh. Okay. Well, it's definitely not sturdy where I have it. I don't know if horizontal is good. Oh, maybe horizontal is good, but then everyone has to hold it hoprizonally. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. Okay, I gotta just believe in what I have and just leave it kind of lower, which is okay. Hopefully this angle is not bad for people. I think the angle is fine. I just thought it'd be better a little bit higher. All right. Back to what I was talking about. We're here talking about Oscars. The Oscars just ended. At this point now, I've been kind of struggling through this for the past 20 minutes. This is my first ever live stream. I'm also simultaneously live streaming on my YouTube page at Aaliyah Langley. I've never done a live stream before, and I thought about doing this kind of just a couple hours before the Oscar started. I said, why not? This is a good time to talk Oscar stuff. People are likely going to be talking about it just after the broadcast, so like, why not do it? Have a little bit of water here. So sorry if I stumble through this a little bit, but hopefully you guys can get on with me. So my first question for everybody I've been trying to ask, who has did you pick OBA for your Best Picture winner? And if not, who did you pick? So let me type it in. It's hard to type and like try to think at the same time. I don't want to be all silent, but I'm going to go into my predictions shortly here and say who I picked and everything like that. As we know, we have 24 Oscar categories to go through. And I gave my predictions. I did a whole a full predictions video like 8 days before the Oscars. It technically posted like just after midnight on Sunday, this last week Sunday. But I recorded it on Saturday night, and I just took a little bit of time editing it. I was just doing some other things. And I also recorded a short form version of that. That way people don't have to, if they don't want to watch the whole 20-minute video, they can watch the short version. So if you've seen that on my YouTube page or on my other socials, then you know what my predictions were. And I went through all 24 categories. I'm someone who I've watched the Oscars for many, many years, and I've really enjoyed the Oscars for many years. But I said earlier today in a quick little video I posted in anticipation of this night that I was really excited I've been more excited to watch the Oscars in the past several years as someone who's watched all of the films nominated. It's been a really great thing to be able to do. And I think if you can, I definitely recommend it, and being able to go into the movie theaters and seeing these movies. Like even people I know who watch the Oscars nominated films like in the lead up to the Oscars, like the 2 months before, I think that's fine too. Like it's just do it and it's fun. Why the hell not? Just go for it. All right, let's go over my predictions, what I picked, what ended up happening. Was I actually right on my picks? That whole kind of jazz. Let me pull up my predictions. I was writing them through to kind of say like where did I end up and who ended up winning. So let's see here if I can get them up. And again, someone answered me in the chat, what happened with One Bad After Another? Did you end up picking it or did you pick something else? Let me know what you ended up going with. Yeah, we're live on both TikTok and on YouTube. All right, so I wrote these in the ways that the Oscars were picked tonight. But this is what it is. So the first award of the night was supporting actress. This was a category I think that was very, very last. This was very, very. This could have gone to a lot of people. I feel like we have 5 acting nominees here, and it was a really tight race. I think from the very beginning. but a really, really great race, and I'm very happy that it was a good race. 1 second. I picked here to win. Tiana Taylor, one battle after another. I feel like I said after the SAGs last week, I said, or 2 weeks ago now, I said I think Tiana Taylor is out of it a little bit, but I still kind of felt like she could come through. I don't know. I was hopeful because I think with the surge of one battle after another and all those things that she could have a good chance of winning still, just because of like the power of the film. But that same kind of thing went for Mumi Musaku for Sinners. Now, the other person who was still in the mix here all the night and ended up winning tonight was Amy Madigan, Weapons. She is the film's only nominee. The film has had no other nominations, but that. And Amy Madigan ended up winning tonight. I didn't want her to win. I didn't think, not that I don't think she was excellent in one battle, in Weapons. She scared the hell out of me. I'm not even a horror person at all, but I went to see that film with my cousins. We were home for our grandmother's 90th birthday, like a family reunion and whatnot. And we were in the theater and we were screaming and I was very frightened. And again, like I said, I'm not a really horror person at all. But Amy Madigan had me screaming in that film and she was excellent in it. It just wasn't, I just didn't think she needed to win the Oscar. But I'm not upset that she won. I mean, that's fine. I picked her as my, again, the three who were always in the mix for me were Tiana, Wumi, and Amy Madigan. And even Inga was excellent in Sentimental Value. Inga was superb. Unfortunately, I don't think she had a shot, really. She was an Uncle Buck, Kyle. What is Uncle Buck? Oh, that movie. Oh, yeah, this guy with John Candy. I've never seen this movie, but I know this face. Macaulay Culkin. Talking about Amy Madigan in this movie, Laurie Metcalf. That's the thing. With SAG, I should have predicted her to win SAG as well. I didn't. I still was going with Tiana Taylor. Amy Madigan is someone who's been around Hollywood for a while and hasn't really gotten a bunch of recognition. This is her first Oscar nomination in 20 years. So it's one of those things where she was obviously going to be around, and she gave a great speech at SAG a couple weeks back. I didn't want this. I saw Utopia yesterday. Nice. I didn't want this, but this is what ended up happening. So that was my first technical L of the night. I did a kind of funny thing. I called this as the next up. So you could, if you wanted to, you're not going to give this a half point for the Oscars, but technically I did get it wrong. I know, so that's fine. But the next category, second category of the night was animated feature. Now, I think everybody and their mother predicted K-pop Demon Hunters was going to win this film. Zootopia 2, and also, sorry, I'm realizing my TikTok people, I'm looking at this camera from my YouTube, but you're down here for TikTok, so this is kind of strange. I know, sorry. But yeah, Zootopia 2, I don't think had a chance winning animated feature. I don't think it even won at BAFTA, which was that could have been a chance where it could have won. K-pop Demon Hunters was always going to win this. This film was massive. I said a little earlier, I never saw K-pop Demon Hunters. For the name alone, it's a little bit but I know that film was very big, obviously, and it ended up winning 2 Oscars tonight. The 2 was nominated for. I think no one's surprised about that. I think people expected them to win those, both of those. So that was who I picked to win, and no surprise, they did win. Next was animated short. Now, this was one in the last week here, I kind of was unsure. I picked The Girl Who Cried Pearls. And I watched a bunch of the short films nominated. There's 15 short films nominated across the 3 different shorts categories. I watched I think 11 of the 15 a week ago, just before making my predictions. And The Girl Who Cried Pearls, in terms of it's stop motion animation, and I feel like the Academy likes that kind of stuff. That kind of what is that? The kind of animation, I think that's kind of people like that kind of thing. So I was kind of yeah, this is probably going to be the one to win. Not just because, the story's good as well, but, I did think though, and like I said in this last week, that maybe Butterfly would win, about that swimmer who escaped the Holocaust. I know that's a hand-drawn animation. I heard a lot about that in the past several weeks. But I stuck with The Girl Who Cried Pearls. We're going to talk about sticking with your gut, because this comes up later. And that ended up winning tonight. So I'm happy for them. Good film. Good stuff like that. Great stuff. All right, our fourth category of the night was costume design, fourth. This was always going to go to Frankenstein, Kate Hawley. I think you can never count Ruth E. Carter out of Sinners. She's obviously the only Black woman who has 2 Oscars. Like, she's obviously exceptional. The Black woman with the most even nominations with 5. But Frankenstein, I knew and across the design categories was going to win. The design categories being like costume design, production design, and makeup and hairstyling. Because surprise, surprise, the 5th Oscar handed out tonight was makeup and hairstyling, and that ended up going to Frankenstein as well. No surprise there as well. I saw people talking about like Sinners and like that makeup, like how was this on conversation more, and I think it's hard in general, like with these award shows, to kind of be like, who do we pick to be the winner, let's say, but I think this was always going to be it. Frankenstein was always probably going to win this one, so they definitely did it, and good for them. All right, so far the 5 I have like 4 out of 5 technically, or again, if you were to pick like my supporting actress pick being Tiana Taylor, that ended up not going there. What can you do, you know? But yeah, that's where we are out of the first 5. So I started off, well on the night, but obviously there was a lot of night to go. And my first big shock of the night, or not even, I think my only big shock of the night, honestly, I had 2 big shocks tonight. Well, actually, no, not really. My only big shock of the night was casting. Now, this is the first casting Oscar given out. Achievement in casting. It's a very new Academy Award. Great. I think it's long been overdue that we should have had casting at the Oscars. This film, I think me and so many people picked Francine Maisler of Sinners to win casting, the first casting Oscar. And it did not go to Francine Maisler. I was shocked when they announced the name. It went to Cassandra Kulundis for One Battle After Another. Now, not saying that OBA does not deserve this Oscar win here, because if you think about all the non-professional actors and things that are in this OBA, absolutely, it's remarkable. And I just actually rewatched OBA for the first time. OBAA, excuse me, for the first time a week and a half ago, maybe just before I did my Oscar. No, I think it was this week I actually rewatched it. I can look at my letterbox so you could see when I rewatched it. I hadn't seen it since I saw it twice, like the opening week it came out in September, and then in the early day in October. So it's been a while since I've seen it, and I watched it, and obviously in the lead up, watching some more things about the film and what's going on with the film. Was definitely always going to be in the mix. OBA has a bunch of nominations this year, but I didn't think it was going to win casting. I think, again, as I said, me and a lot of other people picked Sinners to win casting. So it was a very big surprise to see that happened. And right away, a lot of people were, I saw a lot of people reacting to that and being like, wow, are you joking me? But first ever casting Oscar handed out tonight. That's nice. That's exciting. Yeah. All right. Next up, I have live action short. Now, I watched all of these live action short nominees, and I tweeted live action short, honestly, is one of those categories that's slept on, but it actually consistently is a really, really great category. I really recommend you watching some of the live action shorts, one from this year, but from past years, the nominees, the winners. Live action short usually is a really great category. And like I said, it's usually very slept on. And for the first time in years, I'm going to pull up how many ties there's been. There was a tie tonight on live action short. There's only been 7 times, I think they said, in the history of the Oscars that there's been a tie in a category, which is just crazy. Because I don't even remember seeing a tie at the Oscars, and who knows how long. It's been very, very long since there's been a tie, obviously. So let me try to see what happened. Let's see. There's been 7 times that there's been a tie at the Oscars. I'm trying to pull up the tweet that I saw someone list the 7 times that it had happened, and it was oh yeah, because I wanted to know how many times it happened, and it's not been many. Let me see. I'm almost there. I think. Hang on with me. I'm scrolling. I lost it. Okay, I don't have it. Oh well. How many times has there been a tie at the Oscars? Trusty old Google. Okay. Where am I? I need them just to list it easily. Okay, the last tie was 2013, and sound editing went to Skyfall and also Zero Dark 30. Okay. All right, so the first ever Oscars tie went to Best Actor at the 5th Oscar ceremony in 1932. It went to Frederick March from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Wallace Beery, The Champ. Nice. The second Oscar tie was in 1950 for Best Documentary Short, and that went to So Much for a Little and A Chance to Live. The third Oscars tie, this is the one I think a lot of people know, went to 1969, went to Katharine Hepburn and Barbara Streisand. Katharine Hepburn in The Lion Winter and Barbara and Funny Girl. Barbara Streisand was there tonight. We can talk about that later as well. It had me crying. The fourth Oscars tie went to Best Documentary Feature in 1987, and it went to Artie Shaw, Time Is All You've Got, and Down and Out in America. Next up, our next Oscars tie is, that was 4, I skipped 5, is 1995 for Best Live Action Short Film. Also, live action short has had 2 ties in history. Went to Trevor and It's a Wonderful Life were the 2 ties there. Number 6, the tie went to, this is the most recent tie from 2013, so 13 years ago, sound editing. Sound used to be 2 different categories. It used to be sound design and sound editing. Now sound is just 1 category, but it went to Zero Dark 30 and Skyfall. So first time in years that there's been a tie, 13 years, and there's only been 6 in the history of the Academy Awards, 7 now tonight. Sound edited, excuse me, I'm getting myself confused here. Live action short, this is the second time it's happened. So obviously a surprise. Kamal Nanjiani was out there doing the handing out of the awards, which I think was he was a good person to be the awards handing out because he's kind of funny, so he's kind of good on his feet and things like that. Because the producers don't know beforehand who wins it all, so they certainly don't know that there's a tie. So if they, it's kind of like, what do you do here? I don't think I even said who the tie was. So the tie was went to the singers and also 2 people exchanging saliva. Like I said, I watched everything in this category. The singers I wasn't that moved by. I mean, it was fine, but it was just like whatever. Not whatever, but like it was just like okay. But 2 people exchanging saliva, I was my predicted winner. I knew this was going to be the one that was going to win, and it did. It was a tie, but it won. That French film, kind of quirky, kind of strange, kind of weird. Definitely French, but a really actually great film. And like I said before, the live action short category usually it's like a really great category. I recommend people watching the live action shorts from this year, some of the previous winners. Usually a lot of great stuff. All right, supporting actor, boring, went to Sean Penn, OBAA. I predicted that. He didn't show up. I think a lot of people thought he knew he wasn't going to show up because that was kind of being reported on this past week. I think he was excellent in One Bad After Another. You can't deny how excellent Sean Penn was. Would I have liked to see it go to someone else? Absolutely. I would have really liked to have seen it go to maybe his co-star, Benicio del Toro, who I thought was excellent in it. Delroy Lindo, who I was just so even happy just to have him to even be nominated tonight at the Oscars after missing out on a lot of nominations. It would have been great to see him get it, or my guy Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. That would have been excellent to see him win supporting actor tonight, but unfortunately he didn't get it, and it went to Sean Penn, and Kieran Culkin came out there and give his little thing, and Sean wasn't there, so he was like, Sean couldn't be here tonight, or didn't want to, so I'll just take it for him, and it was kind of like that kind of thing. Yeah, moving on. Adapted screenplay, OBAA's dominance continues. Went to Paul Thomas Anderson, One Bad After Another. His first ever Oscar, actually. I think he'd been nominated before this OBAA year. I think maybe 7 times, or maybe that's too many. But he's been nominated quite a few times. Many people thought he should have won an Oscar by now. I am included in that. I think he definitely should have had an Oscar by now. He ended up winning 3 tonight. Wow, he's had 14 nominations. Goodness. Wow. So before this, he was 0 for 11, and now he has 3, 3 all in one night. And Paul Thomas Anderson's previous Oscar nominations were Boogie Nights for original screenplay, Magnolia original screenplay, Best Picture, Director, and Adapted Screenplay for There Will Be Blood, excellent film. Inherent Vice for adapted screenplay. Phantom Thread, director and picture. Positive on that. How was Paul Thomas Anderson not nominated for screenplay for Phantom Thread? Crazy. Licorice Pizza, not really my favorite movie, but picture, director, and original screenplay. And then OBA, picture, director, and adapted screenplay. And spoiler, he won all those tonight. Yeah. Let's keep going on my list, though. Not surprised there. Happy for him and that whole kind of thing. Original screenplay went to Ryan Coogler's Sinners. This was one, again, the one a lot of us predicted to win. This is Ryan's first Oscar win. He had been nominated a couple times before, I think at least 2 times before, for Picture for Judas and the Black Messiah as a producer, and then also a co-writer on the song Lift Me Up. But this Oscars tonight was, his first time being nominated for director, his first time being nominated for screenplay. He had 3 Oscar nominations tonight, and he went home with original screenplay. It was a nice, lovely speech, and very great guy. Very happy for him. So far in the broadcast, that's 10 awards in the night, and I'm 8 for 10 at this point, or 8.5 at a time if you want to count my Amy Madigan. I almost kind of got that one kind of thing, but I know we technically don't do that. Production design went to Frankenstein. As I said earlier, we knew this was going to go to Frankenstein, all the design categories. It would have been surprising if it didn't go to Frankenstein. But yeah, this is what ended up happening. Trying to see what's happening in my chat. Cool. Visual effects went to Avatar, Fire and Ash. Not surprised there. It's Avatar. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Documentary shorts, All the Empty Rooms. I predicted that. That's where it went to. That film had me crying, tearing up. I recommend you watching that very much. It's on Netflix. Very, very excellent, very emotional piece, but very, very important. My other really big shock of the night, first I had casting as my big shock of the night. I only got 2 categories outright wrong overall in all my predictions, and it was casting and then this category, this documentary feature category that I got wrong. And that was, well, I wouldn't say I was like 100% shocked by it, but I was, because literally right before they said the winner, I said I expect The Perfect Neighbor, but this could go to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. And that's literally what happened. The Perfect Neighbor did not win, and it went to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I haven't seen this one yet. I want to. Another one I really want to see too is the Alabama Solution. I was going to maybe try to sneak it in today, but then I just got busy, basically. But Mr. Nobody Against Putin won. It was kind of weird because the Perfect Neighbor team and Mr. Nobody Against Putin were right next to each other. And the Perfect Neighbor team, Gita, I forget her last name, Gita, who actually was nominated for documentary short for The Devil Was Busy and Perfect Neighbor, she lost 2 in a row, but they had to basically pan over the Perfect Neighbor team to go right to the Mr. Nobody Against Putin team. So it was kind of ox a little bit. But I had a feeling that this one could win, but I was still very confident in the Perfect Neighbor winning. But it didn't win. So, but I think I'm pretty sure I said in my predictions video, the documentary branch, sometimes you have to watch them. You don't always know what's going to happen with them. They are an interesting kind of branch. And that's really what's going on. Let me know, by the way, in the comments, how are you guys doing your predictions? As I'm reading out my predictions and who ended up winning, are you guys aligned in terms of who you picked, if you picked anybody, or what's going on? Are you lined up with me, or how the night went, or were you shocked at things? Let me know, and I could respond to people as well. Here we go. Original score now. Ludwig Göransson, Sinners. That's where it was going. Everyone knew it was going there. This is his 3rd Oscar win now. He's won Best Score for Black Panther, Oppenheimer, and Sinners. I tweeted right after this win that he honestly should have 4 Oscars for Best Score, because he honestly he wasn't even nominated, but he deserved a nomination and an Oscar win for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever for original score. He was nominated for Lift Me Up, but original score, that Black Panther piece, and it wasn't like he wasn't eligible, because sometimes they say think Hans Zimmer with the Dune scores. Dune 2 wasn't eligible because it was maybe too similar or something like that to Dune. Ludwig Göransson was eligible for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, but they didn't nominate him. Think about how good that score is. That score is just as exceptional, I think, as the Black Panther score. And I'd even argue that it added on so much more because you had the whole universe of the Talokan people, and he wasn't even nominated. Nuts. He should have been nominated that year, and that's crazy. I need some water, so I'm gonna drink some. Hello, thank you for joining, the people who have joined. I'm stumbling through my first ever live stream. Hopefully this is not too bad. My first ever live stream. But we're going down the list of Oscar wins tonight based off how I've done my have I done well in my predictions. So far we're doing pretty good. We've gone through 15 of the night so far. I'm at 12 out of 15. So I've had 3 wrong. Yeah, I've had 3 wrong. 2 I had outright wrong, and then 1 I had as like the person I picked to be next up won. Next up here we had sounds announced. This went to F1. I picked F1. No surprise. I liked F1 in the theater. I said this quite a few times. I saw F1, when it came out in June in the cinema in IMAX. Like great, like as the people said when they got up there, this is a great popcorn movie, or like go get your popcorn and go to the theater. Like this is the kind of movie you watch in the theater. I have no interest in watching it at home. I had it on one of my favorite films of the year for 2025 because of that movie going experience. I think I really enjoyed it. I saw it like within 2 days of each other, I saw it back to back, and it was a good movie. But I've said before, it had no business winning. It had no business being a Best Picture nominee or anything like that. But it was, it won sound, and I predicted that as many people did. So I'm good for them. F1. Film editing. This went to Michael Bauman, one battle after another. This was one of the ones that, again, OBA has been kind of killing it throughout a bunch of the award seasons this year, a bunch of the awards this year and all award season. I think everyone kind of predicted film editing was going to go to one battle after another. So I was no different. And yeah, didn't go. That's how it went. Now I'm excited for this one. I'm excited. Get excited with me. We're talking cinematography. Now, cinematography, listen to me very clearly. When I did my predictions video, again, I filmed it last week, Saturday, so 8 days ago. I posted it on my YouTube page in full Saturday, like just after midnight. I also have a short form version that's on my TikTok, on my YouTube, all these other places. Cinematography. In my predictions video, I kind of forgot about one battle after another. Not like on purpose, but I was so focused. I was like, Autumn Durald Acapot from Sinister's going to win cinematography. I knew it. I was confident. This is who, not confident because I wasn't confident, but that was who I was picking to win. She's going to win cinematography. I know it. And I also said, I did a shout out to Adolfo Veloso for Train Dreams. Because I've said it time and time again, my first time seeing Train Dreams, I right away wanted to watch it again. And that was a huge reason because it was one of the most beautiful films I'd seen that year. Exceptional film. I've seen that film now 3 times. It's so gorgeous and beautiful. So that was someone I kept in the mix, like Adolfo Veloso was in the mix. But Adolfo Veloso and Autumn kept losing to the one battle after another cinematographer, who is Michael Bauman. Oh, did Michael Bauman also do the editing? Wait a minute. Maybe I wrote this wrong. I'm checking. Because the editor's also the cinematographer? Does that happen? I mean, sometimes, but where's my editing nominee? I can't find it right now. I don't want to take all day on this, but now I'm actually curious. Editing. Oh yeah, no. Andy, I wrote the wrong name. My bad. So the editing winner was Andy Jurgensen. My bad. I was saying he's Michael Bauman. He's not. Anyways, so Michael Bauman kept winning for cinematography all throughout this award season, even up to the very last big kind of check off for him was the Cinematographers Association, their award show awarded one battle after another. So a lot of people even after then were like, this was this past week, we're literally like, okay, that's the stamp. Cinematography is going to one battle after another. Case closed. It's over. And I let people get into my head the past several this past week, the past several days, being like, man, why didn't I pick, not that it's a competition and not that it really matters how many predictions I get right, but man, why didn't I pick one battle after another to win cinematography? I didn't even shout them out in my predictions video because I kind of just forgot about them. I was so focused on Autumn, but I said to myself, I was like, no, I'm sticking with Autumn because I feel I'm strong. I feel like I gotta be strong in the mental. I feel like Autumn can pull this out. Stick with Autumn. Autumn can win this here. And I gotta say that I was doubting myself up until the moment I was like, but I have Autumn. I was doubting myself, but I said, no, it's gonna be Autumn. and they announced Autumn. It was this excellent moment. I literally screamed so loud. I was so happy. The thing is, it's the history making win. She's the first woman to win cinematography. There's only been 4 women nominated for cinematography, which is wild if we think about it. 98 years. She's the first woman of color to be nominated and first to win, obviously, the first woman in general. A little fun fact I like to tell people is that Rachel Morrison, who was the first ever woman nominated for cinematography at the Oscars for I think 2019 for Mudbound, she is the cinematographer who worked with Ryan Coogler on Fruitvale, on Black Panther, I think on at least one of the Creeds, so not both of the ones that he directed. And she's doing directing now. And her first feature was The Fire Inside, I think, or Fire Next Time with the boxer with Ryan, whatever her name, Ryan something. Tell me if you guys know her name in the comment section. I forget her name. The one from last year. Anyways, so Rachel Morrison was no longer doing cinematography or she was pregnant at the time, whatever. So Rachel Morrison connected Ryan Coogler to Autumn Durrell Akropa. And Autumn ended up doing Black Panther Wakanda Forever with Ryan and then also Sinners. So Rachel Morrison, again, is the first ever woman nominated for cinematography. The first ever woman nominated for cinematography connected the first ever woman to win cinematography at the Oscars with Ryan Coogler. Now, isn't that just like a cool, fun fact? Like, how awesome is that, right? Isn't that just like an awesome little like feat there? I was so happy for that. She got a massive standing ovation. I think a lot of people were just like surprised. It was like technically an upset win because again, the guy from cinematography, Michael, had been winning like he'd won everything. So for Autumn to win was just like a massive thing, obviously. And so freaking happy at that. So freaking happy at that. It's just like one of those things, again, don't let people get into your head. You stay strong in the mind. I stayed strong in myself, saying like, no, I'm going to stick with Autumn. And I did to the end, and it went very well. International feature. Now, this is one I probably should have stuck with my guts on my original kind of pick. My original pick in my video was The Secret Agent. But the whole time I did Secret Agent, I kind of was thinking, it was big reason of it is because like you can't like ever sleep on Brazil. Brazil is going to push. Okay, they were going to push. Obviously, they won their first ever Oscar last year for Ainda Estou Aqui or I'm Still Here for Fernando Torres. That excellent, beautiful movie. And I said Secret Agent I think is going to win this one, but I said Sentimental Value is still in there from Norway, and Sentimental Value ended up being the winner, and I'm very happy about that. Sentimental Value is one of my favorite movies of this year. My favorite movie of the year of all time, like of the year completely, was not nominated at all tonight. Sorry, Baby by Ava Victor. But Sentimental Value, I don't really have like a number 2 of the year, but if I did, it would probably be like, if I had actually ranked them down the list, I probably would have Sentimental Value as like my number 2 or 3 favorite movie of the year. Probably my number 2 favorite movie of the year. So I'm very happy that it won, and I'm happy that Sentimental Value didn't go home empty-handed. Secret Agent ended up going home empty-handed, excuse me, because they didn't win here. But I think Joachim Trier is excellent. Excellent filmmaker. I've said here, I think international feature should go to both the country and the director. This is Norway's first ever Oscar. I think they said after 7 nominations. But I feel like the director should be able to get a nomination here. So unfortunate. And I have to just set a reminder here that it's honestly a travesty that No Other Choice is not nominated in this category or any of the other categories. Like, it's just honestly ridiculous. No Other Choice by Park Chan-wook is honestly one of the best films, English or non-English, whatever, one of the best films of 2025. And for it to not even have one single nomination here tonight is honestly a shame. And I'm still like raging about it because that's like mad. How is this not here? Insane. Yeah. Next up we have Song. This went to gold in the K-pop Demon Hunters. This is what I predicted. As I've said kind of before, if people caught this early in the stream, when they sang the song, it was like one verse, I think, and then it was over very quickly. I said after it was over, I said, "Is that all? Is there anything else?" I don't know. Is it? Did they cut it back or something because of the time? I don't know. It was so short. I haven't seen this movie. I don't think I will see it. The name is kind of like, I can't do that. But it won. Again, I would have really liked I Lied to You to win from Sinners. They had to give this great performance with all these dancers. They basically recreated the scene in the film, in the juke joint with all the dancers, all the different music, and it was just beautiful and stunning how these great people come out. But I think everyone knew Golden was going to win. It would have been an upset if I Lied to You would have won, but I would have been happy for it. But I did pick Golden to win, and it definitely did win. All right, now we're into our final 4 Oscars of the night. The list came out earlier, and like someone put the list out, and they had director actually being second to last, but it ended up not being that way at all because it was going to be the first time that director was like right before picture, and like since 2019, which people were kind of wondering like, what does this mean for Sinners? What does this mean for like One Bite After Another, whatever like that? But it ended up being different. So director went to Paul Thomas Anderson, One Bite After Another. That's who I predicted. I thought Ryan Coogler was still definitely in the mix, but PTA definitely I thought was going to win, and he definitely did win. I think a part of the win, I said in my prediction video too, it's not about this, but this is definitely something, and it's kind of nasty that's on his side. But his first AD, Adam Sumner, died. I think end of last year, or the year before. I don't know. He died. He has passed. He found out he was sick, I think, around the beginning that they were starting to film this film. And Paul has consistently talked about him throughout this whole award season. You know, Paul won a DGA. That's usually very indicative of who's going to win at the Oscars. So I think everyone knew he was going to win this, but Ryan Coogler was definitely still in the mix. Ryan Coogler, you know, I think there's only been like, there's only been like 5 or 6 or 7 Black directors nominated for Best Director. They've all been men. Ryan Coogler had the chance to be the first one to win tonight, but it would have been lovely to see that. But Paul Thomas Anderson won for director, and I think people are happy and fine with that and predicted that and whatnot. Next up here we have actor. I predicted Michael B. Jordan was going to win for Sinners, and he in fact did win. I was so over the moon with this win. Obviously, the events of the past couple of weeks with him winning at the SAG, I think people never the SAG Awards work. I think a lot of people never counted him out, but you know he hadn't been winning anything. It had been Timmy had won. Who else? Did anyone else win? Wagner Moura, he won the Golden Globes. But Michael B. Jordan, I don't think was ever out. Again, I think the push of Sinners definitely helped everybody in Sinners. Unfortunately, we didn't get any other acting wins tonight for them, for like Delaware or Woomney. But Michael B. Jordan, I think he was in a very good spot, certainly after SAG. And yeah, you could say like Timothée Chalamet kind of like tanked himself a little bit. I don't think Timothy was ever going to win because the whole controversy with the ballet opera thing happened on the very last day of Oscars voting, like only a couple of hours left of Oscars voting. Unless everyone waited until Oscars voting was over, I don't think he was going to win. I think he was losing some people already. You know, he had early wins at the Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards, but I think even before then, he had been losing some people for some time who didn't want to vote for him to win. I think he was great in March Supreme, but I would have been fine with him winning tonight. But I'm very, very happy I went to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. I think he was just excellent. He's only the 5th Black man to win Best Actor, the 6th Black performer at all to win a leading acting Oscar. The only Black people who've won a leading acting Oscar have been Sidney Poitier. Next up, we have Forrest Whitaker. I might be saying this in order, but Sidney was first. I think Forrest might have been the next one. I'm not doing this in order again. We have Denzel, Jamie, Will, Halle Berry, and Michael B. Jordan. Are only 6 people who have won. 6 Black people who have won Best Actor or Actress. Halle Berry being the only woman, and then the 5 Black men before Michael B. Jordan. What a list! He listed them actually on stage tonight. What a list of people to be able to put your name up against. To say like I'm with the likes of Sidney Poitier, Forrest Whitaker, Denzel Washington, Jamie Foxx, Will Smith, Halle Berry. How incredible is that for Michael B. Jordan? A great actor. He was excellent in Sinners, and I'm just so happy for him to have won this tonight. He gave such a beautiful speech. You can tell the crowd was so happy for her. Everyone shot up and was standing, was so happy. Him and Ryan had this really nice embrace, nice, lovely hug. It was just very nice. Just a very nice thing. And I'm very happy for that. Great moment of the night. Another great moment of the night was Jessie Buckley winning for Hamnet. I've said this consistently. They were writing Jessie Buckley's name on her trophy since like at least December. Her name has been on that trophy and in the back for months now. We all knew she was going to be winning Best Actress. But she gave a really beautiful speech, I thought, as well. That was just like such a lovely thing. It is Mother's Day right now in the UK and Ireland and some other places. My mother's over there right now, so happy Mother's Day, Mom. I know you're not up right now. But that as well, she gave a nice, lovely like end talking about Mother's Day, and she has an 8-month-old daughter. She got pregnant not long after filming this film. So like adding that on to obviously what this very emotional, deep film is, and she ended the speech kind of like, this goes to all the mothers out there, and like what the chaos of motherhood and the chaos of the heart, whatever. Just a beautiful performance in Hamnet, and also just a beautiful speech. And everyone knew she was going to win that Oscar. Rose Byrne was in there, but Rose Byrne wasn't going to win, unfortunately. Hamnet, Jessie Buckley had that on lock. Like I said, her name was on it months ago. Her name was on that months ago, and it was a lovely thing. And finally, Best Picture. This went to one battle after another. This is what I picked for Best Picture. Again, as I said before, on some of these awards, and this is no exception, Sinners was in the mix, definitely for sure, but one battle after another was winning. I explained in my predictions video, this is the one category in the Oscars where they do like ranked choice voting. Every other category is like, there's 5 nominees. You pick a name, you pick a film, and that's like whoever has the most votes wins. Best Picture is the one category at the Oscars where it's ranked. So you have to take the 10. It used to be 5 nominees, now it's 10. It's been 10 for the past several years. You pick the 10 Best Picture nominees, and you have to rank them 1 through 10. And if number 1, the one who has the top at the end of that, who is highly rated, doesn't have like enough to make the quota that you have to make to get the majority or like that, then you like start allocating the other spots from the back and like bring them up. It's kind of like an interesting system. That's how they do it for Best Picture. But that system allows for some surprises sometimes in Best Picture. But we'll be honest, if one battle after another didn't win tonight, it would have been very shocking. If they didn't win, I would have been very happy if they didn't win. I think one battle after another was great, but I would have obviously really liked Sinners to have won because I think it was an excellent film as well. And I liked what Paul Thomas Anderson said when he was up there. He was like, the Oscar nominees for, I'm pulling it up, I pulled it up when he did it too. The Oscars nominees in 1975, technically the 76th broadcast, or the 48th Oscars, were One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Barry Lyndon, Dog Day Afternoon, Jaws, and Nashville. And he was like, there's no best here. It's just like whatever people are feeling with like today or whatever. Like, I think he's very much acknowledging like, this is a great list of films. His fellow Warner Brothers production and Sinners. He didn't say that, but like I think people probably thought about that as well in terms of like, I think in a lot of these things it's hard to put people up against each other, and this was no exception. Yeah. But yeah, that was how the night went. Those are all my predictions. I kind of listed through, kind of struggling there. Technically, I got 20 out of 24 predictions correct, which is 83%. If you want to count the 2, I kind of went like halfway on. 21 out of 24. I know we don't technically count those, but the point is, I'm in the B range, which is great for my predictions. I think I did pretty good last year too. I forget what I got last year. But this was a great year for the Oscars, especially in a year where there was a lot of maybe ups and downs. I'm surprised I even got this many right. I was confident on 12 of them, but the 12 I was confident on, 2 of them I got outright wrong, actually. So it's kind of interesting how that turned out. But yeah, this is how the night went. Thanks for struggling through this live stream with me. I think I'm going to go to bed now because I have to be up early. I do have a job. As you can probably tell from I don't have any viewers on this thing. I don't do this full time. It's just a fun thing to do. But yeah, thanks for watching. Those of you who have watched either at all or clicked in and clicked out. Doesn't matter. Again, like I said, this is my first ever live stream on both TikTok here and then also on YouTube. So appreciate everybody for hanging around and watching. But I'm going to go to bed. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the Oscars tonight. I definitely did. And see you guys later. How do I end this?